Just cooking some. Oh, hi. I hope you liked the popcorn vendors marathon. I think we all can agree that we love it when Colby McGarrh tells his stories. Here's a compilation of Colby's stories from popcorn vendors. Woo!
What I was saying, I am getting out of my reading slump, which is good. Like, I was just in a mini reading slump, but today after school, I went into my room, and, like, my bookshelves are there, and I was like, man, I am in the mood to read something. And I have this little itty-bitty table thing that holds, like, 6 books, maybe, and I put all of my unfinished books there, and so I picked one up. It was Gemina, which is book 2 in this space series, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. And I was like 200 pages in, and then I stopped reading a couple months ago, and I came back and I read like 20 pages maybe, and then Mom comes in my room and she's like, Kobe, you gotta make dinner with Sarai. I'm leaving with your dad to go somewhere. And I was like, oh man, like Swiper from Dora the Explorer. I said that exact thing out loud. Not really. I did go to make dinner. It was the chicken with Alfredo stuff.
Oh.
Our whole family was like at the kitchen table eating, and the little air exhaust thing was still on over our stovetop. We have an electric stove, that's why. It was on, the stove was on low heat or something for the chicken so it can still stay a little warm. And then my mom was like, can you guys turn that fire down? And I don't know why she called it fire. She meant fire by like the air exhaust. And I was like, fire? I don't hear my mixtape playing anywhere. And then Soraya started cracking up, and my dad just stared at me for a little bit, and he's like, I don't get it, son. Please explain. I was like, Dad, fire, like fire mixtapes. And he's like, oh, that's a good one. He actually didn't say it was a good one. He said it was dumb, but...
Wait, didn't you have a story?
I did, yeah. Well, it's not so much a story as an experience.
Oh, what was it? Come on, tell me, bro.
Okay, so...
Oh, yeah. No.
The other day, I had an audition at what the website said is the greatest theater in Texas. In reality, it probably was not the greatest theater in Texas, but it's okay. I mean, it's a pretty good theater, and they do really good productions. They do what's hot, like the good stuff.
The hot? Like Hamilton?
Like, they don't do Hamilton, but
No.
yeah, shows like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got an audition there.
I know which theater you're talking about.
It was for Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
And I scheduled an audition, and my mom drove me there. It was like maybe a 50-minute drive, like 50.
Right.
And then we get there, and they're all kids like my age or younger, because I auditioned in the 18 or younger day, and then the next day was an 18 and over day.
Right.
And we just sat there for a little bit because we got there like 20 minutes early. So I was just listening to like some music in the car, preparing.
Just jamming out to some tunes.
Always. It was Legally Blonde too, so that makes it so much better.
I didn't know they made a sequel.
All these kids, they were walking like to the right. Like the building was to the left. And I was like, where are they going? There must be a class over there or something. But they all had folders, and they all like were done up. And I was like...
Done up?
Yeah, like they had their hair done. They were in like nice outfits and stuff. And I was like, maybe auditions are to the right. Anyways, yeah, so I started walking where everyone else was walking.
Okay.
And there was this totally different building next to the main theater that I had no idea exists.
Okay.
I walk in there, and there aren't very many people in there at all. But there's this huge studio to the right, and once you walk in, there's a door right in front of you, like right when you walk in. And that's where you audition. So we had to walk into the studio. There were people there who signed us up, like any audition. They told me to sit down, like right next to the door. It was 4 or 5 people at a time. Mine was 5, I think.
Oh,
and
boy.
I was 2, so I went second. Like right when the girl walked out, I had to walk in. Like it was just like auditions we've always done before.
Right.
And I walk in there, and the room is ginormous. It's huge.
Oh, it's
like I'm not kidding. Like maybe it was big because there was nothing in it, but it had that little frizzly carpet thing. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, so it had this really like frizzled carpet. I don't know how else to explain it.
Okay.
Like throughout the whole room, it was really like comfortable.
Like the red carpet?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I wanted to just like kick my shoes off and just like make carpet angels in the carpet, but I didn't. I know.
Oh, that's a fun image, though.
Yeah. There's a guy there with a piano. He's like mid-40s maybe. And then right next to him is the director sitting at his own table. It's just the director and the guy. And the director's table has so much stuff on it. Like there's papers everywhere, notebooks everywhere, at least 20 pens. And I was like, whoa, this guy, he means business. So I walk in, and then they're just like, they don't do anything. So I was like, do I slate? What do I do? What do you guys want me to do? And he's like, well, give your music to the guy first and tell him what he's playing. So I go over there, and I tell him what to do, what to play. And then I slate, I tell him my name, and then what song I'm singing. I had to give them a resume, so they already knew all that stuff about me.
Oh, wow.
I know, real fancy.
A resume.
A resume.
Okay, continue. This is...
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I showed the guy my music, then I walked back to the center of the room, and he's like, what will you be singing for us today, Colby McGarrh? I was like, how'd you know my name?
But okay.
Yeah, I
continue.
told him I was singing a song from Spelling Bee, which is this musical. It's not that well known. And the director was like, yeah, man, that is one of my favorite music. That is a good song choice right there. You are a good man. That's like, he said, you are a good man. That's what he said.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yes, I feel so honored. It's time for me to leave the room now. Please give me a role.
Okay, good.
Anyways, the guy who plays the piano, he was real good. Like, he kept up with me when I was singing, like,
He kept up
really
with
fast
you?
or really... Yeah.
Oh, it's like...
I didn't keep up with him. He kept up with me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is...
So I sang my song, and, you know, I put a lot of emotion to it, because I can't sing for the life of me. And
Neither can I.
Yeah. After my song, like, they were both cracking up, because it's a fun song to sing. And then the director's like, I like your personality, man. You have a good personality. Like, first he calls me a good man, and then he says I have a good personality.
You do have a good personality.
Man, I felt like Miss Texas in that moment.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
And then I walk out of the room, and I totally forget that, like, everyone sitting outside of the room can hear everything that's going on. They can hear everything. So I walk out, and there are, like, these elderly people. There's someone's grandparents.
No.
And they're all, like, cracking up. Like, they thought my audition was the funniest thing. But, like, I didn't take offense to it, you know?
But that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's totally good. Like,
it was intentionally
like,
funny.
I walked out, and they were all looking at me, and they were all, like, laughing.
Man, you're so famous.
I know.
You're so talented. Oh my goodness.
And then I look to the right, and...
To the right.
Yeah, like, all these girls my age who were in, like, for auditioning.
And they were all winking at you.
Yeah. No. They were all, like, staring so blankly at me. Like, one of the girls was, like, horrified that I just did that. Like at an audition.
Had an awesome audition.
Yeah, because, like, I didn't...
But though you're not the same demographic.
Yeah.
So it
like,
doesn't matter.
I didn't necessarily try to sound good, pretty much.
You just did it.
I guess they all thought that was the scariest thing in the world. They're like, oh, he's auditioning for the best theater in Texas, and he just did that. Anyways.
But you have a good personality.
I do! I walked out there one confident boy. They said they wouldn't start contacting me in 3 weeks, which is, like, crazy. But they said if I didn't get a call back right there on the spot, then I would most likely not be in the show. But you know what? It's okay. It was a good experience.
Well, that stinks.
I know. And, like, if I wanted to audition for the show again, the director knows who I am, at least. The piano guy will probably be the same.
You
So,
walk
like,
in, they'd be like, who are you?
No. I feel like I had a memorable audition, and that's the good thing about it. Like, if I wanted to audition for something else there, I walk in the room, and, like, I don't even show my resume. The director will be like, hey, Colby, give me a high five. Boom! What are you singing today? So, yeah, I'm excited for future auditions.
Oh, wow, man.
Oh, speaking of high fives, this is totally off track.
Oh,
but
boy.
Me and my dad, we walked into this farmer's market in Grapevine.
Oh.
And there was, like, jelly there, preserves, fruit, all the gross stuff. And my dad was buying some jelly. He goes up to the counter, and the cash register has a sticky note on it that says, we desperately need fives. Please help us out. And it was all in caps. And then my dad buys the jelly, and then he's like, hey, put it there, man. And then he just holds his hand up in front of him. And then the cashier looks so confused, but eventually he gives my dad a high five. And my dad goes, your cash register said you guys needed high fives, so I gave you one. And then he walked right out.
I get it.
Oh, I was cracking up. Okay, you know what? I think we can branch off. This morning I woke up, and 2 minutes later, you come knocking on my door, and I got so scared. I got so scared because I was like, oh no, I just woke up. I'm sleepwalking. I don't know what to do. Because I woke up at 11 something, like
Right.
11:08,
Uh-huh.
and you knock on my door 2 minutes after I wake up. Like, I'm still in bed rolling around. I have my little white dog like right in front of me, and he's sound asleep. And then I hear you. Like, the only reason I know it's you is because I'm looking at the pathway right now,
Uh-huh.
and I could hear you like through my window, and you said like "oh nards" or something like that,
On Nards? I didn't say
something like that. And I was
What?
like, "Oh, hey, is that my boy Timothy Philip Bevan?"
okay.
And
well,
then
hey.
the little Tim angel in my head said, "Yes, that is me, Colby. I'm coming to knock on your door." And then the devil Tim was like, "Ha ha ha, you ain't ready, bro. I'm gonna get you so good." Anyways, yeah, that's what happened with my morning.
Well, that's very interesting, Colby.
I know. We had TNT rehearsals yesterday,
Oh, TNT rehearsals?
and we didn't.
What is
block-
this play for?
It's called The Importance of Being Earnest.
The importance of being honest.
Yes, it labels itself as a comedy of manners.
What's a comedy of manners?
Basically, it's like all these people in high society from the 1800s,
Ugh.
and like they take everything to the extreme. Like that's how people really acted, like in that time. But
Ugh.
times it by like 20. Like like The Office, like that show. It's basically the same thing.
Okay. Well,
Because like there are really people in The Office who like act like that in the show, but they just took it to the extreme in the show. It's the same thing.
okay,
for
so it's
Ernest.
just like an exaggerated to make it comedic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds good.
It actually is really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
I'm looking
And
forward to watching it. But anyway, continue.
We had our second rehearsal yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and basically during the read through, we had to watch 3 different versions of the play online and then read the full script because we be doing the junior one. Ain't nobody got time for a 3-hour version. And we came to rehearsals. We spent an hour talking about the versions we watched and what we thought about it.
So that was actually homework to go look up bootlegs?
It
Illegal
was.
bootlegs on
No,
YouTube?
they're not illegal. They're just on YouTube. Yeah, like
I'm
colleges, high schools.
I'm pretty sure.
Not
that's
middle
illegal.
schools, though, because
Middle schoolers.
please do not watch middle schools put on a period piece.
Oh, man. We probably have middle schoolers watching this show.
That's okay. Okay, we spent an hour talking about that.
Uh-huh.
And it was crazy
How was it crazy, though?
because there aren't many versions on YouTube at all. There are like
okay.
maybe
So you
2
all
good versions.
So you all watched the same ones, basically?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
So we talked all about that. And honestly, it was kind of boring, but it's okay
What?
because like we got to look more into our characters and like the full version because you see more of your characters in the full version.
Wait, so what character did you get?
I got Merriman. There are
Merriman.
only 8 characters, I think, in Earnest, in like the whole show. Like,
And
there's-
you got one
there's
of them?
literally only 8 of them. Yeah.
Man, high five.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, bro.
I'm very excited for it.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so we all got to look into our characters more because every character has like lines. Every character's in the show, so you can't have an excuse like, "Oh, in the full version they had no lines." Like I didn't get anything new on them because you did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I be saying?
Oh,
you know. Yeah.
That's actually really smart to watch the full version. That way you know everything.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's good. That's
okay.
cool. Yeah.
Anyways, first hour was great. We got to talk about
I
you
see
know where this is going.
Yeah, it's like the first hour was great. I wonder what the second hour is.
The second hour, woo!
Oh dear.
The director told us to go on stage.
Oh dear.
And he told us all to walk in a circle. It didn't matter which direction you were going. Half of the people were going one way, half were going another way. So we all walked in a circle, and the director's like, walk in soft focus. Like, don't focus on anything.
You do realize-
except for your brain inside your head.
You do realize they might listen to this. This is going on the
It's okay.
interwebs.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I mean, you're not dissing them. Be careful
It's
here.
okay.
Be careful here, son. Let's pretend.
anyways, yeah,
we're
we
mature. Go on.
I want to say half an hour. It could have been more. It could have been less. I'm not sure. Of just walking around.
You know what?
And he was telling us.
Maybe you just needed to walk.
Maybe I did just.
I'm
need to walk.
representing this director. I stand by you. You hear that?
We're all gonna take a 3-hour jog around the town before.
I'm pretty sure he
rehearsals.
did not say that. We're all going
He
to...
probably will sometime soon.
You know what? Maybe walking is good for you.
Maybe it is. I took an hour walk today,
Uh-huh.
and my mom got very scared because I did not bring my phone with me. I just took like an hour walk around the block, and then I
Oh,
came home,
that rhymed.
and she's like, "Colby, I was so scared. Why did you not take your phone with you? I called you like 4 times." I was like, "Sorry, I'm sorry.
Aw.
I'm sorry."
Well, you know what? Your mom cares about you. That's what I got
true.
from this.
That's very true.
Anyway, continue.
We were walking around, and the director was telling us to like walk in our characters. It's like lead with your chest, or lead with your. Oh, I poked myself in the eyeball. Lead with your chest, or lead with your head. Or
Yes.
lead with your arms, or your ear.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna have to use that for my next directing.
Yeah.
Moment.
And basically, we were just walking around a lot, and he was telling us things to do, but. Like, honestly, this guy stay on the down low, but I kind of zoned out. Like, I was listening to him.
Oh, dear.
And
The truth comes out.
Everyone else was doing their job, but, like, we just spent so long walking around. So after 10 minutes, I want to say, I just kept walking around in a circle.
You just kept on walking. So they kept on going, but they stopped and you were like, no. You must have looked like a psychopath.
Plotting for World War III. But yeah, at the end, he was like, I'm going to count down from 10. And when I get to 1, everyone's going to stop. And, you know, I was half listening, right?
Oh, no.
So finally he gets down to 1. Everyone stops. And, like, I don't think it was noticeable, but I was walking around for a good 3 seconds after everyone stopped. And I was like, oh, okay, hey.
Kobe?
Hey, guys, hey. It's me, your boy.
This is embarrassing. I feel like cringing just hearing it. But it's okay. It's okay, man.
We spent another half an hour, I want to say, just talking about what we experienced while we were walking around.
You know what?
And what?
I like this director.
Oh, well.
You know what?
Well.
You're talking about this very negatively, but
No.
what do you know, Colby? You never directed a play. Maybe this actually helps.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe. I'm not saying there's anything against his methods. I'm just saying that I was being a rebel child and only half paying attention. So I'm poking fun at myself. No hate on the director. He's great. But yeah,
there we go.
There are only like... I don't want to count it now, but I'm pretty sure there are only 8 people in the cast.
Uh-huh.
So everyone like shared their own amount of stuff. Like we all shared the same, except for me. Like I still
because you were because
I wasn't paying attention. There you go, kids.
What were you thinking about?
Please pay attention in class to get those A minuses, B pluses. Oh yes.
Why not an A+?
Nope, that's impossible. I finished this book called A Gathering of Shadows yesterday. I read it like all day.
Really?
I woke up, I opened my book, I was like 300 pages in. I was like, I'm determined to finish this. There was like 210 pages left. This is the second book in the series. It's a fantasy series, and I love it.
He likes fantasy.
I do, and it's adult fantasy too. Like,
no.
It's not inappropriate. It's just like everyone in it are 21 or older. Like there are no teenagers, and it's such a relief because everyone like acts out like what's the word I'm trying to find? Like when they're smart, like they know what's. Wait, what's the word? I will not go on until I find it.
Empowering teenagers?
No, they act sane. That's the word, sane. Okay, but yes, I finished the second book. It's a really good series. It's called A Darker Shade of Magic. Go read it, everyone.
Darker Shade of Magic. Wait a minute. Should we be recommending this to the kids?
Oh, no.
Kids,
read it anyways.
No, kids, do not read that book.
Okay, but anyways, I was like, oh man, I gotta get the third book. The third book's like super huge. So I was planning on like knocking it out like at the end of this week. I was like, yo, I'm ready. So I walk into Mom and Dad's room. I was like, Mom, Dad, man, I'm gonna need your car keys. Can someone drive me to BNN now? Because I need the third book now. Because the second book ended on a cliffhanger too. Like the second I finished it, I was like, whoop! I plopped it on my bed. I ran into Mom and Dad's room. I was like, someone take me to Barnes & Noble. All right. Mom was asleep actually. I think I woke her up. But that's okay.
Yeah.
My dad was like, it's a beautiful day outside, son. You can walk yourself to Barnes & Noble and then call me when you're ready to be picked up.
Yeah, that's right. You live kind of close to it.
I was like, okay. Yeah, the walk only took like 20 minutes too. I was like, yo, bless up.
That was longer than I thought.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that long.
You should have ran and made it 10.
I ran for a good minute and a half, and then I got tired. I got to Barnes & Noble. There are people there everywhere because it's spring break. There's people in every single aisle, and there are workers. And I looked in the normal like adult fiction section because I thought that's where it was going to be, but it wasn't there. So I went up to go to the computer because there used to be a computer there, and you could type in like what book, and they would show you exactly where it was. Like libraries, when they give you the numbers. But this time, like, they actually showed you where it was in the store, like Google Maps style.
Whoa,
I know, it was so cool.
that's nice.
The computer was not there, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to ask someone now, but I really don't want to. So I just kept searching around. I was like, you know what?
You're avoiding human
I will
interaction.
find it. No, because I didn't want to be rude.
You didn't want to be rude. Hey, can you help me find this book?
Because everyone who works at that Barnes Noble are in a bad mood almost every time I go there. So I was like, no, I can't put them in a worse mood. I'm not about that life. And I was looking around for another 10 minutes maybe, and there were teenagers everywhere, and they weren't just the normal teenagers like me and you. Like they were the wild bunch.
Oh,
you
no.
know, throughout the whole store. I was like,
We're like
but
jumping
it's-
around, like on the
Yeah.
couches, hanging around in the
Yeah.
kids section.
They really were, but that's okay.
Ugh.
That's okay. Teenagers will be teenagers. And after like 10 minutes of looking around for the third book, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna plunge in. I'm gonna ask one of them to show me where the book is. And so this guy was just walking down an aisle, and I was looking at books. I was like, "Excuse me, sir," and he's like, "Yes." Like I'm not exaggerating. Like I sound like a
Yes.
bad person. Like I don't want to like talk bad about people or exaggerate their character, but they really are like that at Barnes and Noble. Like I'm not lying. He was like,
Really?
"Yeah." He was like, "Yes." I was like, "I'm looking for a book. Can you help me find it?" He was like, what's it called? He actually sighed. I was like, you know what? I'm in your store. I'm buying your books. Please up your mood. I was like, it's called A Conjuring of Light. It's book 3 by V.E. Schwab, one of my favorite series ever. I actually just said it's called A Conjuring of Light. And he's like, okay, follow me. And then he took me to the booth in the middle of the store. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And there was another girl there, and she was in her early 20s, and she was nicer, which was good.
Aw.
He's like, yeah, he's looking for A Conjuring of Light, and she was like, I've heard of that book. I got you, fam. I got you.
Oh, she was in a better mood. That's nice.
Yeah, they balanced themselves out.
Oh, yin and yang.
But yeah, she typed it up. She was like, hey, I found it. Come follow me. I'll show you where it is. Come, just follow me.
All right.
I was like, you know what? Okay, I will. And she took me to the fantasy section, and I was like, man, I didn't even look in the fantasy section. I looked at adult fiction, I looked at historical, nonfiction, I looked at everything except for. Okay, but anyway, she took me to the fantasy section, and there were 4 or 5 teenagers in that same section, I want to say.
That's
and-
why you probably avoided it. I'm like, I'm not going next
yeah,
to them
exactly.
teenagers.
Yeah. Because I don't know if it's just me, but I hate going to Barnes & Noble when there are other people in the aisle.
I
looking at
know.
books. I don't know why, but I can't stand that. And like, they weren't even looking at books. I don't even know what they were doing in the fantasy
They were
section.
probably just hanging around talking about
they were
stuff.
just chilling. And then they saw the young lady come and show me where the book was, and I followed her. And they all just kind of like stared at me, and I was, I'm gonna need a second.
Okay, doke. He needs a second, people.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
There.
They all stared at me like they had such a look in their eye. They're like, did this kid really need help finding a fantasy book in the fantasy section? What? Well, I wasn't exactly embarrassed because I don't get embarrassed. I was like, you guys should not be judging. Man, I spent 10 minutes looking for this.
10 minutes?
I really did.
Aw.
But anyways, yeah, they kept staying in the fantasy section and all that good stuff. And I actually avoided those sections when I was looking for other books. I was like, nope. And then some of them ended up leaving, but this one couple stayed, and they were sitting in chairs, like they were sitting in 2 chairs just talking to each other.
Young
And then
love.
don't get married. And I was in the aisle. I was in the aisle next to them. I was just, looking at books. I was like, this looks good. Picking out some books. It sounded good. And I look over at the boy, and he's staring right at me with such a, that's such a dumb 15-year-old kid. Even though he was maybe 16.
Oh.
It's like, little kids nowadays. I don't know if that was what he was thinking, but that's the vibe I got. So I legit skirted out of that aisle, and I went to like the other sections where that boy could not be seen. And you know what? I felt great.
All right. Well,
It was kind of a long story, but
I mean,
there you go.
in the end of it,
In the end,
Subtext version?
I got my book.
yeah, you got your book.
I got another book too.
You got judged by a bunch of people you don't know.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. You'll never probably see them again unless you go to Barnes & Noble.
Except for those Barnes & Noble employees.
Oh, dear.
That girl was nice enough, though.
Aww.
I'm gonna ask her out soon.
Okay, Colby, you have a story for us?
I do have some stories, but they're kind of depressing, so I don't know if you want to hear depressing
You know what?
stories.
Let's try it out.
Try that.
Let's get real.
When I saw Finding Neverland...
This must be a really depressing story. You're laughing. Okay, continue. Sorry.
I think it's just funny to think of, because...
No, open up your heart. We're all here for you.
I don't know if Soraya will listen to this podcast, but...
Oh, no. Go.
Okay.
Don't diss her. Don't diss her.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to, because I sat on the left of Soraya, and then on the right of... Well, I can't say full names, but...
Yeah, okay, let's use a fake name for her. Her let's just say her name was Jeanette.
Jeanette.
Yeah. Go on.
Okay, I was sitting to the left of Soraya and to the right of Jeanette. And the show opens up, like it starts. It's a whole ace crew there. There's a lot of people there. It's us in one row, and then like parents in the row behind us. During Act 1, it was just like a normal musical, you know, for most of Act 1. And it was fine. Like, there's nothing tear-jerking about it. You know?
Right? I see where this is going.
And then, like, all at one, I was just crying. Because I was, like, I don't know. I was thinking about a lot of things. Like, I had no idea what was even going on in the show. Because my mind was just so full of things. And I just started crying. And Sarai, she kept looking over at me. She never asked any questions after the show. She never, like, did anything about it.
Oh.
But
she was trying to probably give you some space if you were crying up.
Yeah, I don't know, but I felt so uncomfortable because she just kept staring at me, and I was like, "Get me out of here right now, please."
What were you thinking
and it was
about?
Even that doesn't matter.
Okay.
And it was even worse because during Act 2, I was crying throughout all of that too, as well, because I don't want to say two twice in the same sentence. Writing, kiddos. And I was actually crying because I was paying attention to the show this time. Like, I honestly couldn't tell you much of what happened in Act 1 because I wasn't paying that much attention.
So you weren't crying because of the play? You were
No.
You were crying about something you were thinking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm a depressed, angsty teenager.
Hey.
And during Act 2, I was crying because I was paying attention to the show because, thank goodness, it's actually really easy to follow. Like, I just started picking up at the end of Act 1, and I was fine. Like, I knew exactly what was going on. And Act 2 was really sad, so basically what you get out of that story is that I was pretty much crying in the fourth tier for a good 2 hours. I listened to the 21 Pilots, like, self-titled album last night for the first time. They just called it 21 Pilots. And, like, I don't know, it was so sad. Like, I was listening to it, and then I just started crying. And it was so weird, too, because I was right there. Like,
we're so emotional, aren't we?
I know, I was laying down.
Yeah.
And then I just started crying. And, like, I don't know why, because my tears were, like, so warm this time.
Oh, I feel you, brother.
And sometimes, most times when I cry, my tears are, like, not warm. But last night, it was like a boiler room up in my pores, up in my cheekbones.
Why are you crying?
It was just, I don't
Like,
know why they were so... Okay. I'm looking at my dresser drawers right now, and I'll paint the picture for you. It's a wooden dresser drawer.
Right.
And it's beige colored, and they all
That's not
collapsed on top of each other. Like, I don't know how it happened.
Like full on pancake.
But you have to, like, lift up the other drawers if you want to get to, like, the third one or, like, the second to bottom one.
This is funny. I'm enjoying this.
It was actually really amusing.
And I'm about to put another dresser in there. I was supposed to do it today, but I'll probably do it tomorrow. And so I was like, you know what, I gotta clean out my dressers, you know, like, throw away the stuff I don't need. Well, not throw them away, give them away. I don't know, do whatever I feel like doing with them. Just stuff them under my bed for later, you know.
Or that.
And I cleaned out the top one, and that's where I have, like, my money in. And apparently I kept letters in there, too. I don't know. And I have socks. It's supposed to be a sock drawer, right? But there was a lot more stuff in it. Like,
a lot more stuff in it.
Toys. I don't even know. But I took all the socks out. Then I saw all the toys and miscellaneous stuff on the bottom. And one of them was this piece of paper. It said... Club Penguin Book Club. I wrote it myself.
Really?
I drew the picture on it.
Okay, well, Stry drew the picture, but I wrote the Club Penguin Book Club
I want to read
part.
this.
I know, it's
We should
great.
read it out loud during the podcast, but okay.
Okay, anyways.
Tune in next time.
There's a puffle on it on one side. It was a blue puffle. Ooh. And then on the other side, it was a penguin from Club Penguin.
That I drew.
And he was like walking his blue puffle or something. I don't know.
That's fun.
And I was like, you know what? I should do something with this. So I walk into Soray's room, and I go into the bathroom. I'm like, where should I put this? Because there was already a piece of tape on it. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm going to prank her so good by putting it on her bathroom mirror. So I did just that, but it fell off right after. And I didn't want to go into the kitchen to get more tape. So I was like, what should I do? So I lifted up her toilet lid.
Lifted it up.
And then I put it on her toilet bowl.
Uh-huh.
But here's the good part.
Oh,
yep.
no.
When I closed the toilet bowl, it fell into the toilet water. And this is when I started panicking. Because I was like, what do I do now? I can't get it out. So I kind of just walked out. And I found more stuff to like put in a shower. But the moral of the story is...
This stuff was Percy Jackson posters. They were like maybe a 3x2 size. And he hangs up like 6 in my shower.
They're a good 4 years old.
I've been working all day. I just come home and Colby goes, hey, did you check your shower? Like, why?
All right. Take a listen to this. Okay, so Dad is off at work, right? And then Soraya was gone doing who knows what. And then the other little girl sister that lives in this house, she was playing Minecraft. So I was like, you know what? I gotta find good songs to sing for upcoming auditions, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. You are such an auditioning boy now.
I know.
I'm so proud of this guy.
Here's what I did. I went into our Garage 2.0. You know what I'm talking about? Like the garage outside the garage.
Yeah, it's like, why don't you just call it a shed?
Because
you can see now.
I want to shed away from those topics.
Anyways.
See what I did there?
I saw.
I went into the shed.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I gotta practice. I gotta sing my heart out.
And, I do that in the car.
I've settled on a song finally. I'm gonna sing Electricity from Billy Elliot. And okay, here's the thing. I went in there and I was like, whoo, I can sing as loud as I want. No one will hear me. It's fine, right?
That's a relieving factor. It's like, nobody can judge me. I can just
no one can hear me. I can sing
Belch your
however
heart
loud I
out.
want.
Yeah, and if
But there was a hornet wasp in there. Not a normal wasp. Not a it's kind of a scary wasp. You know, it's subpar. Not a bee. Okay, not a horsefly. A hornet wasp, baby. And I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I don't know what to do. So I ran to the other side of the shed and I just stayed there. And I looked at the wasp who was just flying around. And then he finally like settled on one of the beams on the shed wall.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? It's okay. So I stayed over there for a little bit. And I was like, I don't know. And then I waited like a good 3 minutes. And I was like, it's okay. I don't think he's going to do anything. Mm-hmm. Then I walk over there. And then the second I walk over there, he like all over my head. Just I was like, oh! So I ran out of there. And I forgot to turn the light off too. So when I was like halfway to the house, I like turned back. And then I had to turn the light back off. But anyways.
Maybe he just wanted to hear you sing. Maybe he was lonely.
Yeah.
Did you ever factor that in?
Maybe he wanted to know what all the buzz was about.
You just deprived a wasp from entertainment, Colby. How does that make you feel?
Soraya,
So
I don't think you would act any differently. I have to be honest here.
Yeah. Our family went to the zoo for Christmas.
Oh no.
Right?
The zoo.
I was like, when did we go to the zoo?
For Christmas.
What?
For Christmas.
No, I remember it now, but
And I'll tell you what the best part of that zoo story was.
Why Christmas?
Why are we
talking about Christmas?
We walked in
because it's
to the
March.
little like bug place.
It's April.
Where
whoops.
It shows where the bugs are.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really neat.
Yeah.
And it was great. I loved it. It was kind of small, but it's okay because there was a lot of cool bugs.
A lot
in
of
there.
little cockroaches.
And insects. And there were so many little kids in there, which is like fine. Like I like kids. Whatever. Look at the bugs. But they were all screaming. Just like that.
No, for real though.
What? Every single one of them. Like it was crazy. I was like, I want to get out
Rules
of
of three. You wanted to go and meditate?
I that.
You want to do some gospel music?
But I stayed in there because I was a trooper. I was like, man, I got to learn about these bugs.
Wow, ladies.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh,
And
yeah, he wants to
The
talk
only
about
reason I remembered is because I actually have a letter in here. Because, okay.
You have a letter inside your pillow? He's cracking up, people.
Wait. Funny story.
What was that? A text message?
I don't know what that was. That wasn't my phone.
Oh, did
It
Ryan?
was it was my phone. Okay, sorry.
Okay,
But yeah, I don't know if my mom will listen to this, but we were cleaning out my top drawer today,
right.
and like I found a letter
Uh-huh.
in it from someone. It's not like personal. It doesn't like
Yeah, you mentioned
it's not
this-
like a love letter or anything.
Oh.
Yeah, I mentioned it's not anything like that. It's just a letter. But I was like, no, I don't need mom saying that. So I didn't know where to put it.
It was a letter.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of letter was this? Was it like
I just put
a
it
diary? It's like my feelings are being written down on this
And
piece of paper.
It's so weird too because
well, if it's
it was just a letter because like me and that person haven't connected in a while, so they're like, hey, I haven't forgot about you. And I was like, oh, that's sweet that they took the time to like send out a letter.
It's all coming together. You were talking about a handwritten letter, like the 6th episode. Man, you really have to watch this from the beginning, new listeners.
It's
I
like
know
a
this
mystery
episode.
show. Put the clues together.
I know it's just an ongoing story of our lives.
Okay, but yeah, speaking
Yeah.
of that, like
We gotta go.
when I got that letter from her, I loved it. I was like, oh, this is so sweet. This is a great letter. So I actually, well,
Oh, it was from a girl.
I never wrote back to her. Oh well, it's okay. She knows I got it probably.
Well, she
'Cause,
does
like,
now.
Yeah, because it had a date on it. It said February 21st of 2017, I think. And this is the,
That's
this is,
so long
This is the first
ago.
time I'm seeing it since like I first read it. So, I'm crying in the club right now.
But you didn't write back.
No, I think I texted her or something. It's okay.
Okay, well,
Um,
all right.
but yeah, I was thinking, oh, I kind of like this letter concept because it actually means something. Because she didn't handwrite it, like she wrote it on the computer and then printed it out. Oh. But I was reading it today, and I was like, someone actually took the time to like get on their computer and then type.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there, but someone actually took the time to get on their computer, type something out for only me to see. Like they didn't intend anyone else to see that, and I don't know. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that's so crazy. So
It's sweet.
I wrote I wrote a handwritten letter. I probably should have typed it out because it took forever to write. I wrote a handwritten letter to one of my friends just for Christmas because she lives like so far away.
Right. I think you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably did. And like I don't know what it is, but I love the concept of letters. Like I've gotten more than just the letter I was talking about. But
I
like,
collect all mine. I put them in a little box
yeah,
because
same.
it's kind of rare.
Like it's so nice, and I just felt good. I don't know why, but I felt good writing a letter to someone. I was like,
It feels good. don't it?
yes.
They're coming back, man.
I know, and I really need to
Yeah.
like get back into it. Well, I'll probably type out like my letters next time. But yeah, I don't
It probably won't feel as good though.
Yeah, I know.
You have to struggle.
I'll tell like
You should-
someone
no,
else to write it.
No,
for
you
me.
should write it on like parchment paper with a quill and pen
Okay.
for the full experience.
So I'm connecting this to yesterday.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yesterday, I woke up
I'm gonna do
and
the
my
rest.
stomach was hurting like a lot, and I was like,
was
yeah,
hurting a lot.
yeah, whatever, it's fine. Like it's fine, it's fine. But I don't know why that's funny. It was really hurting. Okay.
It was hurting a
Okay.
lot.
My stomach was a little. Ooh, it was a little. You know what I'm saying? When your
It was
stomach's
a-
just a little.
It was a little.
It was a little. Ooh,
I know what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
you just drank a whole jar of vinegar.
Okay, but I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I'll
Yeah.
just take an Advil. I'll be fine. So I took an Advil. I did school. My stomach was still hurting. I was like, it's fine. It's fine. So we went to rehearsals,
Yeah.
and the second I got to rehearsals, I didn't even like talk to anyone. I just went straight to the bathroom
Straight to the bathroom.
because my stomach was still hurting. You know what I'm saying?
Still hurting.
And then I almost threw up. I really did. Like I was.
Really?
I was just gagging.
Oh my
Just
goodness,
like in
wow,
front of the
wow.
toilet. I was like, oh no.
What did,
But,
you,
like,
what did you eat?
Nothing. Well, it's because my dad's stomach was hurting like a couple days ago, like a lot.
stomach bug.
Yeah, and I think I got it from him. I don't know.
Okay.
And then I like almost threw up, but I didn't. I just started gagging, and then like when you start gagging, and then tears just start like coming out of your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens all the time.
That's what happened. But anyways, I just stayed in there for a little bit. I was like, whoo. I got napkins out of the dispenser thing. Okay, and then a
Alright.
little dispenser thing where you wave your hand in front of it, and then
Right.
the things come out. Yeah, I used that to like clean up my face.
Yeah, I love that thing.
And then I went back out. Then we did the rest of rehearsals. I was feeling fine.
Mm-hmm.
I got back into the car, and immediately my stomach starts hurting again.
Oh.
I was like, how does this even happen? Like, I feel like it was just God or something. I don't know. He's like, I'll give you these 2 hours for rehearsals for feeling fine. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Because, like,
Maybe-
I don't know.
maybe-
God works in mysterious ways.
He does. He does. He does. Or maybe there was germs in your car.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Man,
But
I don't know. It's
I
like,
was feeling fine at rehearsals, and
Right.
then I get back into the car. It just, bam!
Bam!
It hits me again.
Go for
So
Kill him.
here's
Alright.
here's a little story
Mhm.
because I so rarely tell stories on here. As
I
we all
know.
know.
I
I went to the movies with
Oh, my.
mom and then my sister a week and a half ago. Right?
Sweet.
It wasn't the normal AMC because no, that's too expensive.
No.
We didn't go to that. We went to Carmike, which AMC owns, but hey, their tickets are like $5.
Amen.
Like every ticket.
Yeah.
So we're like, what up? Plus, those are the theaters that you can just like walk into because like you walk in and the snack bar is in like the very back.
That's really nice, actually.
Yeah.
I'll probably do that when I'm older, but like I can't now because I can't drive. But it's fine.
Not
Whatever.
yet.
It's fine. Okay, and we it's the worst, but we got tickets to see Isle of Dogs, and if you
Oh.
don't know what that is,
Oh no.
it's some stop motion movie about this Japanese 12-year-old boy who goes to this like island full of dogs to look for his lost dog. That's the whole movie. I'm not even kidding. So what we did was we got tickets for it. It was the theater in the very back. There are so many theaters there. It's like sketchy there because no one ever goes to Carmike, right?
Yeah.
So we go in. We actually pay for our tickets, and we go.
Impressive.
We go to the Bat Theater, but as we're walking there, there's a second snack stand there.
Okay.
That's like not working, right? It's
Okay.
like I don't even know why it's there because there's a snack stand when you walk in, but the second one's just kind of there. I don't know what it's doing there.
Alrighty.
And there were 2 of those Coke machines where you could get any drink like ever you wanted.
Oh, I know.
yeah.
I love those things, but
And
no, I can't
the
enjoy it.
one of the screens were black, and the other screen said "touch to get started."
Okay.
So guess what I did? I touched the screen to get started,
Wow.
and
Wow.
it booted up and everything.
Oh, wow.
It like showed the Cokes, and we were the only people in. Well, we weren't the only people in the theater, but like there weren't many people there. So I was like, ho ho ho! Hey, look at that! We could get free drinks. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, what I'm saying, I kind of just like veered off my story for that, but we got free drinks from that thing through
Nice.
the whole movie.
That's
Sorry, Carmike.
Whoa.
Sponsor us.
Did you just confess of stealing soda?
It's not a confession.
Yeah.
It's not a confession. We're just telling a story. Tim.
Confessions with girls. # relatable. And okay, what I was saying.
Just girly
We.
things.
Oh no.
Hey guys, it's me, Colby. Just girly things. You know, it's just free drinks.
Colby,
Oh my
Ryan,
goodness.
and then we have a special guest, Justine, with us today.
Oh.
Would you say hello to the camera?
Hi.
We don't have a camera. Just
We don't?
We have a
Oh
mic.
shoot! Wait, I'm out.
What?
Bye.
If people can't see my luscious good looks, then I'm out of this podcast.
Pretty much.
Okay.
That's the way I operate.
Oh,
let me
okay.
finish this real fast.
Oh,
we
well,
were.
All right.
Yeah. No. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
We were. Oh, hey. we walk in the theater. There's another like. Well, I'm not gonna call her old, but she was old. Like that's all I'm saying about that. An old lady walked in, an elderly woman. I don't know. I'm not being disrespectful because she was really old.
Senior.
Yes, she was 18 and everything, graduating this year. And she sat in one of the front rows. She like brought popcorn and drinks and whatever you bring. I don't know. We like finagled stuff into there, and we had free drinks. So jokes on her. But halfway through the movie, like me, Soraya, and Mom, we were like kind of being loud about it because like
Yeah,
the
I can
movie,
see that.
like the movie was all around good. Like it was funny, but like there was a lot about it that you could make fun of.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so we were watching it. We were just like talking through the movie, and then like not even halfway through, the lady gets up and she walks away, and we're like, okay, she'll be back. She never came back. I don't know if it was because of the movie, if it was because of us. I don't know, but she just didn't come back.
That movie's like PG-13. That surprised
How
me.
much you want to bet that she was trying to get a drink out of the machine that didn't work, and she was just
and she
there
got
being-
caught. and she got escorted out.
So, did you want to talk about Hong Jr.? You just did a whole week. What is it? Monday? Wait. What is it? Friday through Thursday?
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Not Monday.
No.
Oh, well, that's a bummer.
Wait,
Wait, what? Was it Monday?
I think so.
How
I
could
don't-
you forget a whole day of your life?
Because we didn't. I don't know. It was sometime this week.
Right.
I don't have many eventful stories, but basically we. I know, not much.
Nothing happened.
Nothing really happened.
That-
I'm kind of surprised.
That's not very entertaining
I
for the
know.
listeners.
I know. Because I can turn everything into a story. So catch me over here.
Wait a minute. So, You walked in. Start from there.
I walked. Okay. We're gonna start
Okay.
from the very beginning.
Okay, continue.
I woke up.
No. I already see where this bit is going. It's not successful. Let's try.
I got out of my covers.
No.
I opened my bedroom door.
No. Oh my goodness. Hurry. We can only have like a handful of people who actually listen to this show. Let's not
You're
lose
right.
all of them.
You're right. All right. So I'm assuming all of our listeners know what touring is. If you don't, then I'm sorry. I'll try to explain it real fast.
Right. You go on
basically,
tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like a band. I play the cello.
No, he doesn't.
Sit to the status quo. But no. What we do is we put on this show for elementary school kids. Two shows for the same school a day, and then we go to a new school for the next day.
What schools were these? Well, like what kind of grade schools?
They were all kindergarten through 5th grade.
Oh.
For 2 of the schools, it was K through 3rd, and then 4th through 6th. But for the last school, it was just a mix of all of them for both shows.
Were they?
No, they were respectful kids.
They were respectful
Yes,
kids.
yes.
Yeah.
But okay. Anyways, tour. You have to wake up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing happened. But
5 a.m.
yeah,
That stinks.
you wake up at 5 a.m. and you have to be there at 5:50. So it's a little crazy. I got enough sleep though.
What?
So it's okay. Cause I'm both a morning and night person.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me why, but if I get too much sleep, I'm actually cranky. Like I'm actually cranky if I get like
I can see that.
more than 10 hours. You know.
Oh wow, yeah.
But like
of course.
for those 3 days, I only got 3 hours every night, and I felt great. You know. So
3. That's.
I don't know. It's a blessing.
How are you alive?
But yeah. Since all of our viewers are
Listeners.
oh yeah, very eagerly awaiting my haps on the very special Firehouse audition.
Oh yes. The story continues. Go on. Go.
Yeah, I think I've talked about it in every podcast. So here we
Yeah,
are.
oh, man, it's all
It's
leading
been a
up to
while.
this.
Yes, I didn't get in, but hey,
What?
Okay. Listen,
Well,
listen.
that was disappointing.
I got called back for Eric
You-
and Triton in Little Mermaid. But I didn't read for Triton because they didn't have enough time. But I did sing for Eric, and it was great because only 2 other boys were called back, and
Ooh.
they were both like 13, and all the Ariels are like 16. So,
Oh,
like,
did
I
you get?
think we know where this is going. But
So you haven't got turned down for the Little Mermaid yet?
no, yeah,
I would love to see you as Prince Eric.
I know.
Oh
I
my
would love
goodness.
to be Prince Eric.
Man, I kind of want to be Prince Eric. We all want to, but no, I would rather see you.
Yeah, and I actually haven't told you this story. I know I told a few people this
Oh,
story, but I
okay.
don't think those people listen to this podcast. So.
Okay, liberties.
Yeah, what can I say? For James the Giant Peach callbacks, they were both held on the same day, and I went in there for Grasshopper, and there were a lot of boys called back for Grasshopper. I want to say like 8 or probably 8 or 9.
Right.
And I sang for Grasshopper. Everyone in that room was like, "Wow, you were so amazing. You deserve Grasshopper."
Whoa,
The
nice.
the directors like kept pointing at me. Like I'm not making that. Like I'm not exaggerating. Like this is really what happened. Like I'm not sure why the directors were pointing at me, but I don't know what they were thinking.
That boy is totally out of this place. No.
Yeah, probably.
No, help.
And
Definitely not.
what I did was,
Mm-hmm.
I went home. I felt good about myself.
For the first time.
I know, right? Like I don't know.
No, I'm sorry.
I felt good I felt confident about the callbacks, you know.
Ah.
And I don't feel confident about callbacks often. So hey. But I had to email the director, one of the directors, and I was like, "Hey, I have like 12 conflicts, but I can." Oh, sorry. I can make it for the last half hour of all of those rehearsals that I listed a conflict for. And then she emailed me back and she said, "Is there any way you can work around these conflicts? Because this will affect casting." And then I emailed back. I was like, "No, sorry."
Oh no!
And
Wait,
she-
wait, I got confused. Which play is this?
James. And then, but I didn't just say no. I said like more than just no. And I was expecting a response back, you know, because
Right.
like that was an email where I was expecting a response back. I like asked a question or something like that, but she never responded back. And then at the graduation party yesterday, like everyone was like walking up to me. They're like, "Oh, Colby, bleepity bleep, got earthworm. Did you hear?" And I was like, "What? No." And they're like, yeah, he got a call and everything. And I was like, what? Yeah. And then I went home, and then bleepity bleep, which
Oh, no.
she texted me. She's like, did you get in James? And she was like, did, and then like the letter U, and it's like yet, and then the letter N, and then like JMS. And then I responded back, I was like, no. And she's like, LOL, well, I'm in it. So I was like, wow.
Wow.
Okay. And then another
Whoa.
friend that I just like met
Some
at
friend.
callbacks, she texted me too. She's like, did you get in James? I was like, no. Did you? She's like, yep, I got Spiker. So
Man, so many
Okay.
people got in.
yeah, the only reason I didn't get in was because of conflicts. I'm thinking, like, I feel like they wanted me as Grasshopper, you know?
I would
Like, I'm just gonna put that.
I
out
would have liked to see you as Grasshopper. I hope they're listening to this. You should have just went with the conflicts.
there. Yeah,
was
but
it
hey,
worth it?
guess what?
Was it?
That gives me the opportunity to audition for both Aladdin and or Mary Poppins at Gateway. And
Hey.
Gateway is a great Christian environment. When I signed up, they're like, oh, what's your relationship with Jesus? You know, how long have you been going to church?
Oh, that's
I was
nice.
like, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
This is pretty good. But I looked at all the slots after I filled in my audition thing.
Uh-huh.
It was just with Sign Up Genius. And they were all filled out. I was like, oh, that's okay. And tomorrow, there's 31 people standing by, which means they said you can just show up and they'll try to fit you in, but they don't know how long that will take, pretty much. From like any time tomorrow for auditions. And so I'm going to go to bleepity bleeps.
Oh my goodness.
Graduation party.
I'm losing all track of all these bleepity bleeps. I don't know who's who anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to the graduation party tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll stay there. And then when it's over, I will go straight to Gateway. And see how long it takes. So
Sweet.
I went to one cotillion. I never went back.
Whoa.
I thought you were there, though.
I think
I
Ryan
like,
was
"This is
there.
dumb."
Oh, so you admit it is dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yes.
Oh dear, you
Because
want to
the
dive
boys had to do literally everything.
well, that's just like they're trying to teach them the way of being a gentleman.
Yeah,
They're, like
no.
pulling their chair out for them and stuff like that.
I understand. But
That's not like
I'm like I understand in the Bible that it said, I don't know, like gentlemen should be gentlemen, and like I understand gentlemen should be gentlemen,
right.
but they had the girls just
Right.
do nothing because boys had to escort the girls to their tables. That is good,
Right.
That's
yeah,
okay.
That's good.
The boys
Take my
had
arm.
to pull the chairs out and like put them in. Like that's good.
Right. Well, yeah.
They had to ask the girl like sitting across from them or like next to them or something like that.
Aw.
I don't know. It's been a long time.
So sweet.
They had to ask her out. If she said yes, you win. He had to ask
I got
me.
something after you're done.
Okay. They had to ask if she wanted either tea or water, I want to say, and then you had to go up and get it for her.
Whoa.
I don't know
Your kids-
how much I stand for that. But, and then there's more.
Oh dear.
The boys after dinner, like, and you had to cater to the girls the whole time.
What do you mean cater to the girls? What do you mean?
Just like fulfill their every need. I don't even know.
Oh no!
But
I,
after
I
that,
like I dropped a pen. Can you go get it?
yeah.
Well, hey man, that's training you for marriage.
I
That's what a
know.
good husband does.
I know. But then after that, all the boys had to do all this like work. Like we had to actually put stuff away, and it took a long time. And you know what the girls were doing? They were standing there just talking. Like, no, come and help.
This actually sounds really funny. Like you're giving all the.
I was
Girls are
like
go-
13 years old. I just turned 13. I remember. I went because it was Sarai's birthday. Like that day, I had just turned 13, and I was a wild child. And I couldn't lift anything because I had no muscles. So there were all these strong like 16 and 17-year-old girls were like, you know that they did like CrossFit or something. And then there was me with like the little noodle arms picking up like 4 tables by himself. There was this one girl there that I sat with at the table. And then I also danced with her because we asked each other
Ooh.
out. No, I'm
No,
just kidding.
yeah.
They just like put you at random tables, and then boys get in one side of the room, and then girls get in the other side of the room during dance.
Uh huh.
because it would go like down the middle because it was like line dancing or something.
Right.
And I don't know, me and that girl just like ended up together. But
Ooh.
I think I remember this for some reason. There was one girl I knew. I can't remember who it was for the life
Right,
of me, but
right.
it was some girl I knew, and like I was like friends with her, I guess. I don't know. But she saw that she was gonna line up with me during the dancing.
Oh no.
So she pushed her friend in front of her.
Oh no. That's so mean.
And I saw that. I was like, what? No. Like, it's fine. Like, I don't care. But I just remember that. She probably thought I was weird.
That's so mean. I think I've seen girls do that with me as well, except they were girls I didn't know, so that made it even worse.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, man. Yeah, but yeah, do you have any other cotillion stories?
I don't know, because I only went to Cotillion once.
Oh.
There is the infamous left-hand story.
The what? What
Now? I
now?
don't have to call. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna sum it up real fast because I know I've told the story to everyone. But when we were all sitting and they were giving out the rules for Cotillion before the boys escorted the girls to their tables, she was giving the table etiquette and she said you have to cut the steak with your right hand and then you have to eat the food with your right hand. She's like, any questions? I raised my hand. I was like, well, I'm left-handed, so I'm just gonna have to, use my left hand. Like,
Right.
Sorry about it. And she was like, actually, no, you have to use your right hand. I was like, what? She was like, you have to use your right hand. So I used my right hand while I was eating. I don't know why. Because, well, nowadays, I mean, everyone knows me. Like, I would have just used my left hand. But back then, I was like, I followed the rules and stuff. So I really did cut with my right hand and eat with my right hand. And this one kid at the table, he kept making fun of me. He was like, come on, man, you're eating it wrong. Or like, just put your hand like on the bottom of the spoon. Or
Well, that's kind of mean.
or he was like, you look so weird doing that. And then a girl sitting next to him was like, stop. But yeah, I don't know. It was weird. Cotillion was a weird experience. I don't know why I remembered so much because it was a long time ago. So I went to Burlington Coat Factory and I found this button-up shirt I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
And it was $7.99.
Not $8.
Nope.
It was $7.99.
And I was like, this is the one. This is the one I will marry. So I
wow.
put the shirt in the cart and I was like, well, I gotta find a suit for toadies, right?
Amen.
So I went to the suit section and none of the suits had price tags. I was like, oh, okay. But I tried on this one. I'm sure everyone already knows where it's going now. But I tried on this one suit with the button-up shirt. I was like, this is gonna look good at the award
and then
show.
it disintegrated into ash.
It did. A dragon came in. It just like blew its fiery breath, and then I like came with my power move. I was like Sudoku, and then it turned me into water temporarily, so I wasn't burned by the dragon. But
That bit went longer than I thought it was.
so I tried on the suit. I was like, oh, this is good. And then I walked up to the cashier. I rang up the shirt I'm wearing now. Actually, this was $7.
It's a very nice black and white cow looking shirt.
Yeah, I'll like walk into Chick-fil-A. They're like, "Oh my gosh, we're so sorry for murdering your family," and I'd be like, "I'm not a cow." Okay, so I got the shirt.
Yeah.
I rang it up. I was like, "Yes." So I got the one I'm wearing now, and then the button-up one, and then you guessed it, it's suit time, baby. So I gave her the jacket, the cashier, and I didn't even give her the pants. No. It was just the jacket. You want to know how much you ring up for? Well, you already know this. It's kind of the wow factor is gone, but $139.99, not $140, $139.99. And I was thinking, what?
Oh, my ears. I'm listening to the audio as we record it.
And so my mom was like, how much is that? And the cashier said, it's $139.99. That's what the price tag says, ma'am.
Was it just the shirt?
Yeah, it was just the suit jacket. And my mom was like, no.
3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, wow.
I was about to start singing that song from Millie, but then I decided against it.
No. Stick to the stuff you know.
Bro, I play the cello. No! Okay, but
yeah.
my mom was like, no, we don't want this. So the cashier was like, well, you can go back to the jacket section to find more jackets for cheaper. And my mom was like, we will just go somewhere else. And then
Ooh.
we left.
Oh, man.
But hey,
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's sad. I feel sorry for
the cashier wasn't very nice. So it's okay.
Was she not?
She could be listening, but no,
You weren't very nice to my friend.
Okay,
I'm
so
mad at
but it's okay
you.
because
You drink so much water. I have to say that, like, literally through the entire last podcast, it was just like, I'm like, no, Colby, I'm cutting that out. And then
the
he just
entire podcast, but it's just me drinking water. Welcome to the 3-hour podcast. Are you thirsty? Because I'm not. So we went to Suit Warehouse.
Suit Warehouse.
And there was one lady working there. And there were suits everywhere. I
Well,
was like, this.
The name does imply.
This is the place.
Yes.
It really did. And that suit was, well, let me tell you, it was less than $139.99 for the suit and the pants, and that was at the Suit Warehouse in Grapevine, Texas, the Grapevine Mills Mall.
That would explain
go
why.
today.
That would explain why it looked so cheap.
Yeah. No, because this is real.
Okay, yeah.
I went to church. Here we
Really
are.
for the first time.
I know.
I
I went to church yesterday, and I sat
yeah.
in the back, and there was this.
because you were
there
antisocial.
Yeah.
No.
There were these two kids in front of me,
No.
and they weren't on their phones, but
Oh.
this is just a side story.
Okay.
They
What-
kept cuddling, and like
But
they
the-
would be doing everything except for kissing, and I wanted to. Well, I didn't want to die, but like I wanted to get out of there. I was like, no more. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
So like every time they call the kids up to stand by the stage for worship, about half the kids like go up to the stage and like go wild, and then the second half just like stay in their seats. And I have stayed in my seat for the past, I don't know, 2.5 years.
Wait a minute.
I've never gone up there. Well, I have, but like rarely.
So like the altar call is kind of like a party?
No, it's not an altar call. It's just you go up there to worship.
Oh.
Because like half the worship songs are party songs, and the other half are normal worship.
Wait a minute. Party songs? You mean like everybody clap your hands?
No, like Toby Mac. Well, not really Toby Mac, but like that. Oh, Hillsong, Young and Free, like a ton of stuff like that.
Oh, and you don't go up there and boogie?
But guess what? These two kids in front of me were ticking me off so much.
They were upsetting you.
That's right. That I didn't say anything, but I just got up there.
And you smacked him on the head.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I went up there to worship, and I never do, which is fine. Like it was fun. Like I'll probably do it more now that I did it.
That's good.
It was fun. But like I was just
boy.
saying that these kids, like I'm just saying this as a general thing. Please don't cuddle during. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
But no,
Leave
the real
room for Jesus.
that was a long side story. The real topic.
Right. The
I went to
phones.
church.
Oh.
So many kids were on their phones during the lesson, and no one did anything about it. Like I was sitting in the back, so I could see everyone.
So.
Not the last TNT rehearsal, but the rehearsal before that. We were talking about the book because me and a couple other kids finished it, but the majority of the cast didn't even finish the whole book. And communion was at the end. But I, Captain
The special
Jack
child.
Sparrow. Yep.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
I knew what the director was talking about when he was like communion, because he mentioned it too. Like when we were talking about the book, and then he stopped us and he was like, "How come none of you are mentioning the communion chapter?" And then
Isn't communion something you do at church, like with
the
crackers and the...
yeah, but that's like a different thing.
Okay.
And then the director really was like, "How come no one's talking about the communion chapter?" Just while we were talking about the book.
nobody
then-
read it, did they?
Um,
Nobody read it.
Well, I don't. A lot of them didn't read it.
Oh, dear.
And everyone stayed silent, and I was like, "Well, I read it." So I spoke up. I was like, "I have no idea what this chapter was. I did not get it." And he explained it more, and he was like,
You're honest. Good job, man.
"Yeah, like that was," because there were a few chapters in that book I didn't understand, and that was one of them. And he was like, "Well, it's because you guys live in a day and age where everyone's on their phones and stuff like that. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about."
Right.
And then he was like,
right.
"When was the last time you had a heart-to-heart or an honest conversation with someone?"
Saturday. It was with you.
Well,
Remember? We had an honest conversation.
okay, but before
That was a good conversation.
before that,
I'm not talking about the podcast.
I know. I'm like, before that, like, when's the last time? And I was just thinking that. I was like, wow.
Oh,
Because he was like, not through FaceTime, not through text. Because he's like, when was the last time you had a heart-to-heart with someone and had a real conversation? I was like, oh, with my friend on FaceTime, like, a couple weeks ago. And then right after I thought that, he was like, not through your phones, not through Skyping, but, like, in person. I was like, oh, okay. So, I don't know. I was just thinking of that, and I was like, wow. I went bowling yesterday.
Oh, you weren't saying, but
I was saying, actually, it was just before this podcast turned on, so
Alrighty.
you know what? You're over.
you know what?
What?
Go ahead.
All right,
You-
I
so you-
will. I
you-
will.
You went bowling. I'm actually very intrigued. You
Okay,
went
good. I went bowling with a group of theater kids, and
Name their
one
names.
of which is the director for 90% of our shows. And
like 80, so
you know what, Tim?
more like 75.
More like 100% of the camps. So. What? And none of us knew how to bowl, which was pretty sad.
You know
Like,
what? I knew how to bowl. I
Well,
could have probably beat all of you.
I didn't ask you, did I? No. Just stop talking. That's what I thought.
That
Now
hurt
let me
my
get on.
feelings.
Okay, but the highest the highest score that any of us bowled was 103, and
That's so
I did
lame.
not bowl it. The
I'm
average
sorry.
that we all got was like about 65 to 70.
It sounds so bad.
But it's 'cause-
I'm sorry. I shouldn't say. I'm not. Actually, you know what? I am a very good bowler.
Well,
I got a strike.
you know what? You just said that, and I told you no one asked, and here we are again. So how do you think I feel right now?
Like you got a bunch of information you didn't want to know, but you needed to know.
That's not what you are wrong.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But we weren't using the little bumpers. Okay.
Okay then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, never
So,
mind. I'm not
it
a
was
good
hard.
bowler then.
But the hot. Oh my gosh, Tim! No. Like, oh, if I can't use the little dinosaur thingy that like helps guide the ball.
oh, the dinosaur thing.
I used it, and my ball went straight into the gutter.
I
so-
need that. That
Okay.
needs to be allowed in the professional leagues. Oh, I see. You even seen this dinosaur help.
Okay, but funny
Okay,
story.
yeah.
Funny story.
I'm laughing already.
I bet you're thinking, Colby, you never have funny stories. Well,
oh.
you'd be correct. Because when do I tell stories on podcasts? Never, guys, never. Okay, but the friends, the brochacho, the nacho queen, because it rhymes with brochacho, like nacho. She was like, Colby, this time you should like throw, like, okay, I'm gonna get up. Where it's like, you know when you
They
put-
can't see.
you know when you
I'll
put
narrate.
the ball like in between your legs and
Oh,
then
yeah.
you roll it like this.
Yeah. I am sure
So
the people in
it's
the
like
audience.
it's like the grandma bowl to anyone.
the
who can't see.
grandma bowl.
And she was like, "You got to do the grandma bowl, but do it backwards and then throw it like this."
So,
And I
Colby,
did that, and
so-
that was the only strike I got all day.
are you kidding me?
I'm serious.
So you stood backwards away from the bowling pins,
And I did the grandma bowl,
Spread your legs and then shot it between your legs.
and I got a strike,
You got it.
and I never got another strike like all day. I went to go see Jersey Boys the other day, and we got a story for you.
Hey.
Just kidding. That details about the business now. Yeah.
Why do you hurt me?
Okay, but we went there, and we went to the box office.
Okay.
And if I have a student ID, we can get the best non-sold seats in the house for $20. $25. There were thousands of people. There were 5 tiers, and we were sitting on the bottom floor, like really close to the stage.
Because you were the only student there.
Yeah, I was. I was the
Re-
only student there.
Really?
Well, to all those podcast listeners, I already went over this story with Tim,
Mhm.
and there were a lot of elderly people there, and I only
yeah.
spotted, I think, 4 other teenagers, and there were thousands of people there. So just to put that in retrospective. But I sat really close to the stage, and it was great. Like, it was like one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Wait,
and-
Jersey Boys is a Broadway play?
Yeah, it's about the 4 seasons. This boy band, the OG One Direction, that was popular in like 1950, like 1949, something like that. And it's about these 4 boys and how they met and how they like rose to stardom.
and like the entire soundtrack
Uh-huh.
is songs that they really sang like in the 40s and 50s. Like that's the entire soundtrack. And they're all like really like they're all like some good songs too. Like during like half their songs, cuz I was sitting in a seat, like I was sitting like you know when you go to operas and on the right and left.
I've never been to an opera, but go
Well,
on,
you know
yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah.
When I'm going to say on the right and left there are like these boxes that really rich people sit in.
Oh yes, absolutely.
we
And
were-
it had the little spectacles and
Yeah.
they look through them.
And we were in one of those boxes, but like on the first floor. And it was like 20 seats on the right,
Nice.
and then 20 seats on the left.
That's so nice.
I know, it was awesome. And we were sitting on the right. So like, oh, I already forgot where I was going with this. Okay. But it was a really good show, and the fact that we were so close made it so much better because we went to go see Something Rotten there, like whenever Something Rotten was performing, like a year ago.
I want to see that. But
And
go on.
we sat in the 5th tier, so it was way up there, and you could literally only see like the actors' heads, and like you couldn't even read the signs or props or nothing.
That stinks. Why do they even sell those?
I have no idea. They're literally like $50.
That's why you need to bring binoculars.
I know. I was just thinking that. I was like, next time I sit in the 5th tier, I'm gonna bring binoculars. I've actually thought that before.
My goodness.
But yeah, it was great. It was great. Oh, I remember where I was going. I was saying we got those seats $25 each. Me and my mom.
Oh wow.
I paid $25. Well, I didn't pay $25, but it was $25 each for each of us. And we were so close to the stage. And literally the worst seats in the house, which is way up in the back of the 5th tier, they're like $55. So it was awesome.
Just because you were a student?
Yeah, because students like don't even know about that. It's called Student Rush, and I think it's kept like on the down low.
Why don't they advertise it?
I don't
They
know.
probably get a lot more young people there.
Probably. Well, no, because if they did advertise it, then students would just go and pay $25. Because the seats we were sitting in cost like $130.
So has anything cool happened with you over the past 5 days that we've not seen each other?
A little bit. I
Oh.
went to the local bookstore a couple days ago.
Was it Barnes and
As
Noble?
if I ever do that. Yes.
I knew it. Your life is like Star Wars. It rhymes.
But I was in the adult fiction section.
Of course you were.
Yeah.
Child fiction is too childish for you. What is
Um,
this, a unicorn?
No, I was. It's so fluffy.
Okay, sorry.
I was looking at the George Orwell books, like Animal Farm in 1984, and then I picked up Animal Farm. And
Oh,
then
I
just,
read
like,
that, yeah.
Started reading it. It was the worst thing I've ever. I didn't even get 10 pages in, but I was sitting there and I was reading in the little reading section where there are 2 sitting chairs, and
Not 3.
all the not one. All these moms come in. And they come over to my section, kind of like they start migrating there.
And they're like, you were Mr. Lawrence in Little Women.
3 years ago. You haven't changed. I was sitting there, and then they come over. I was like, oh, it makes sense because I'm in the adult section. Why would the adults not go to the adult section?
Mm-hmm.
But they walk right past the section.
Oh,
I was like, what are they doing? And they all have purses. So they all
Mm.
sit down. Like from where I'm reading Animal Farm, I can see them. They go through the adult fiction section.
Okay.
And then they sit down in like another sitting section.
Uh-huh.
But it was like plastic chairs. Like it wasn't comfortable chairs.
Ew.
And I was sitting in a real like plush chair. So it was great.
Yeah.
And then they all sit around, well, not in a circle, but in like a half circle.
Semicircle.
And then at the same time, they all open up their purses and bring out some yarn and they start knitting. I'm serious.
My mind is blown.
In Barnes & Noble.
Women knitting. What will they think of next?
No, stop. We were in a bookstore. They were like Pride and Prejudicing things up. I don't even. Wow.
Maybe they just had kids and were like, Mom, we're going to just read Percy Jackson over here in the kids section because we're kids. You go over there and knit yarn because you're old.
They gotta get away from Little Richie.
On the Dick Van Dyke Show, you got to watch it. It's on Netflix.
That's like my favorite show.
Amen. Yes. Yes, we converted you.
So, guess what? I got another story.
Oh, no.
You thought it was
Okay.
over?
1 hour episode.
So-
What the fans always
Hey,
want.
that's not true. It'll be at least 2 hours. So, at the importance of being earnest, we have props for Acts 2.
Because Act 2 is just...
Prompts to prompts. No.
Stop. There's a table.
That's what you would have said. I've studied your speeching patterns, and I have picked it up. Oh, is that true? That's what you were going to say.
How do you know what I'm about to
Say.
Oh! A mind reader. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there's a table with books on it, real books, and then there's a bench, like a stone bench
With
on
fake
the other
books on
side.
it.
No, Tim.
I'm having too much fun pretending to be you. Go on, continue.
Okay,
We
what was
need
I saying?
sponsors,
Oh
we
yeah,
need money.
the real books. I get a book thrown at me in every run, and after the book throw, I go on for 2 more scenes, and then I'm done. And the book thrown at me is usually a blue one, and it's classics, and it's filled with wait. Well, as long as Kim's working the store, we can get that fresh produce.
Sorry.
Did you get that on your mic?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I hear it.
Okay, so the book gets thrown at me, and it's usually the 2 books in one, John Grisham, and it's The Chamber and one other book. There are a lot of words on each page, like more than usual. And I've gotten a good 30 pages in to the first book, and it's pretty good. And I thought it was just this normal book that no one's ever heard of. I was like, oh, whatever. So I just typed in the book on Google.
Wait a minute. So you looked up the book and started reading the book that you got hit with?
Yeah, just like backstage.
Okay.
And I looked up the book just to see it on Goodreads. I was like, oh, I gotta finish this book. This is good
Goodreads.
stuff. And a movie shows up. And the movie has the same synopsis as the book. And then at the bottom it says, based on the book by John Grisham. I was like, what?
My mind is
Now
blown.
I got to finish the book. It's this movie that came out like the 80s. It's called The Chamber.
A good time, the girls in the 80s film, If I could only go back in time.
The Outsiders.
That's a reference. Check out episode 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
No Marsha Brady here. I thought wrong. What was I saying? Because I got 30 pages into the book. I looked it up. Oh yeah, and it's this 80s movie, and it has like 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
5% is bad, right?
It's pretty bad.
My
My goal is to try to finish the book, the whole book, backstage before we take it to Irving. Like that's the goal.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, Colby, I mean, we're like halfway into the episode, and we haven't really gone into detail about your TNT, The Importance of Being Earnest play.
Oh, it was great. You want to hear some fun stories? Yeah, you
do.
So, story number 1 of the show.
Number 1.
I'm going to skip straight into the show because nothing much happened before we performed.
Yeah.
Except for TNT stuff like classes. It was all usual stuff.
They do
no one died.
They do
Nothing
classes
like that
at TNT?
Yeah, they were fine. It was nothing big. It was just acting stuff. Like, they were fine.
No.
But
okay.
during the show, you heard me right. In the middle of the show, I walk out. And me being the servant that I am, I'm wearing servant clothes, serving everything. But no,
That's right. I remember that.
I wouldn't be 100% clothed servant because I'm a stupid little boy. No. I forgot that I had to pack black socks or really any kind of socks for TNT. I brought like $3 socks that I found at this clothing store that were pretty neat. And one of them was this sock that goes up to right below my knee. And it has Dalmatians all over it. Just cause, I don't know. But those were the only remotely black socks I bought. Because it was black. They were black at the base. But there were Dalmatians everywhere. So I bet you can guess what I wore on stage to all those hundreds of attendees. That's right.
You were wearing Dalmatian socks.
I didn't think that anyone would see them because I never sit down. I never bend over, but I thought wrong because I've told you 100 times in this podcast that I catch a book in the middle of the show.
That's right, he does.
And
Gets thrown a book at him by Sarah.
Cecily, she throws the book at me, and of course I caught it for the hundreds of thousands of times that we have run the show. But this time I did not catch it. Okay, it fell straight to the floor, and I bent down to pick the book up, and as I was leaning down, my pants they hiked up to about right below the knee to where my socks actually ended. So I was bent down as a servant in the Victorian era, and everyone could see my stupid little Dalmatian 2018 socks. No one laughed, but
They were all judging you.
yeah, pretty much.
How many people are in the audience in TNT shows altogether?
I don't know. It was a lot though.
Over 100?
It was at least 800, I think. Wait, no, just kidding. It wasn't 800.
Oh, okay.
I think it maybe sat 800, and it was it was pretty full.
I never performed in a theater that had 800 seats.
Yeah, I don't know if it's at
That's pretty
800. That's
impressive.
what I think it's at. So
It's
I
your
don't know.
estimate. Yeah.
But I'll tell the infamous stories of TNT from this year and last year.
Oh, no.
Flashback. Last year at TNT, we went
Mm-hmm.
a couple of days early, and
Uh-huh.
we were just chilling up in Baytown, wherever that's located. And we
Okay.
went to this bowling place that was also a movie place.
Yeah, bowling.
And the movie we were going to go see was Pirates of the Caribbean, whichever one was out
Dead Man's Chest?
last year. Yeah, I don't know which one was out last year, but that's
Yeah.
what the whole cast was singing. The whole, 45 people at our theater that went to TNT.
That's fun.
And I, the one person, didn't really want to see Pirates of the Caribbean. I bet you can guess where this is
Oh,
going.
no.
Because I had seen it with my dad and sister, very recently.
I see. And you're not the guy who likes to watch movies more than once.
Yeah.
Unless it's
Yeah.
Incredibles 2.
Well, yeah, because because they invited me, and I was like, I can't say no. But anyways, I was like, no, we don't want to watch Pirates of the Caribbean. So I was just walking through the movie aisles, seeing what was playing at that time,
Oh, no.
and I saw this really cheesy romantic movie. It was called, I think it was called Every Day, but it was this really just teen romance movie. And I thought, yes, this is the one. And it started at the same time Pirates of the Caribbean did. And I thought, let's do it. So I walked in there, and I was there for 15 minutes. And then I got texts from everyone, and they were like, hey, Colby, you know you're not even allowed to leave the group, right? I was like, what? And they said, you can't leave the group. You can be sent home for that. I was like, fine. So I watched back into Pirates of the Caribbean. I was the last one there. Everyone saw me walking in 15 minutes late. And I
Were the
just
trailers
watched
still going?
the rest of the movie. I think so.
Oh, well, you didn't miss anything
Wait.
then.
I actually think it already started. I don't remember. If you thought my rebellious phase ended there, just you wait. I missed the TNT meeting this year because I was at a church thing. And I was like, I went to TNT last year. I remember all the rules. So I thought. And this year,
No.
as I went to TNT, the day before the last day, the last round of shows, I went to go sit with another group because I didn't know it wasn't allowed. And our theater was sitting in the very top in the middle. I don't know why we were so far back, but we were. So the theater I went to go sit with, I just sat for fun. I was like, yeah, they're cool. I'll sit with them, I guess. I wasn't trying to break the rules, even though everyone still thinks I was trying to be like a naughty little boy and broke the rules. I honest to goodness didn't know that it was a rule. So our theater was sitting in the very back, and the theater that I was sitting with for the last block of shows, they were in the very front, okay, on the right. So as you know it,
No.
everyone saw me, and they all went to the meeting, and they all knew that it was a rule. But I was not at the meeting, so in the middle of the show, not before the show,
Intermission?
there was no intermission. Literally in the middle of the show,
Oh, no.
one of our parents walked down the aisle, and they pulled me out. And they were like, Colby, this is not allowed. You know that it was not allowed because you were at the meeting. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was not allowed. I wasn't at the meeting. And they were like, you weren't at the meeting?
I had a
Just
church thing,
go.
which is a good excuse.
Yeah, I know. They were just like, just go sit down. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. Sit down with the theater. And I'd never seen them this man, so I was like, yeah.
Oh, no.
But after the block of shows, after TNT that day, we all went out to Whataburger. They were all like, Colby, nice of you to join us finally. Or, Colby, is it really you? I was like, guys, I didn't know.
I can see them doing that. That's funny.
So That's the 2 stories.
You got me during the chick flick movie. I lost it there. I'm sorry if all my squealing interrupted this story,
It's all right.
because it totally did.
Woo! Hey, the girl who plays Sarah Brown in Guys and Dolls, she actually has to touch my nose in If I Were a Belle. Because you know the song?
Right.
They're at, like, the Mexican, like, restaurant, and they're, like, dancers, and the fight breaks out.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yeah, well, we took the fight out because it's inappropriate. But she sings the song, remember, when she's, like, in love, and they're, like, outside, and she's, like, drunk. Yeah.
Oh, well. We can take out the fight, but let's keep the drunk.
Yeah, we kept that in for some reason, and I don't know why. Like, she's, like, full on
Kids
drunk,
play.
and she's, like, stumbling around the stage, and she, like, falls into me, and I have to, like, push her back up while she's singing. It's great.
How can you take that out, though?
But she, like, touches my nose, like, during a song, and it's really awkward. And the director is like, you gotta make it cute, but, like, it's just not gonna happen.
But it has to happen, Colby. It's gonna be cute.
Oh, well, we'll try.
Wow.
Hey, speaking of Yo Ugly,
Ouch.
which makes me think of that rap song. I was at this thing called Bonfire Worship, and it's with Valley Creek Hub. You know,
Yeah, I know that.
You know I don't go to Hub, and I didn't know it was by Hub.
Why is it called Hub?
I just heard about it. I don't know.
Hubba.
I heard about it like on social media and stuff. Social media,
Hey!
the center of everything.
Mm.
And it was called Bonfire Worship, and it was outside, and all
Really?
these teenagers came. And like I said, it was a Hub thing, so they were all kids from Hub. But I didn't know it was Hub. I just came because I thought it was a thing. I didn't even know it was with a church.
I see where this is going, and a bunch of girls came up to you.
Actually,
asking...
no one came up to me. So
Well,
there you go. But
okay.
I met some people.
There's teenagers for
I
you.
met some people who we have some mutual friends with, so that was fun. I just
Oh.
hung out with them. And then after the worship and message, we went down to the dock because it's on Grapevine Lake. It's just right there. And we went down to the water. And everyone jumped in, and I didn't know it was a thing. Like, I was talking to some people. They're like, oh, yeah, we do this every bonfire worship. Like, we just jump in the pool. Like, they were all wearing bathing suits. And I was wearing, like, a nice outfit because I wanted to be impressionable. And they were all just, like, they didn't care. I was like, great. So
well, now you
I
know.
actually got in the water, like, in my clothes because I would have been, like, the only one not doing it. And someone was playing rap music just on a speaker or something.
Hamilton.
And it was clean music. Although there was this one song where they just started like F-bombing. I was like, oh my, am I at a church or no? Because what's going on? And then someone just walks up to the person playing the music. They're like, oh, you should probably turn that off. You know, whatever, it's chill. I was like, oh my gosh, what?
So, those were the stories from the famous Colby McGarrh. I hope you liked it. Tell me down below which one was your favorite, if you had one. Anyway, I'll see ya later. Goodbye.